Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again, looking forward to tomorrow's return to Premier League action for Newcastle United against Crystal Palace at St James's Park. A huge game, a big game, and it's just so great to have Premier League action back after the bore fest which is international football, England, so on and so forth. Yawn, we've qualified again, shock horror. Watch us go out. Again, very, very limp. I'll do a separate England video when it starts to get nearer the time, but international football just does fuck all for me. Boring as shite. Like watching fucking paint dry, it really is. But we're back to the real stuff this weekend, and yeah, Newcastle United against Crystal Palace. Now, hopefully I get there. I'll have to swap this. I'll have to swap the bloody car for the boat at this bloody rate. Shit and hell, it's done now but high it down, has it? For the past 24 hours, pissing it down here. But you know, what can you do with the weather and stuff like that? Cannot wait to be inside St James's Park, getting an absolute fucking soaking as per. But hopefully Newcastle United returning to winning ways. Obviously, last time out a 2-2 draw. So agonisingly close to getting the 3 points down at London against West Ham. A good West Ham side, but we had to settle for a point at the end of the day. I still think that'll be a good point when we look back at the end of the season, just because this is not the West Ham of last season in the league. You know, they are a decent team. They've got some good players, good team. So a point away from home, given the injury situation and everything else like that, I think is decent. But yeah, undefeated in 8 games now, Newcastle United, and after after the Brighton game, we'd have fucking snapped your hand off, wouldn't we, for some sort of turnaround like that. Now, the news, and I don't know, may have just slid you by, I don't know, you've been living under a rock or something, but all the news on the build-up to this game, of course, has been about Sandro Tonali, and the suspension that is coming his way. Let's just make no bones about it. It's coming. It's just a case of when. It won't become effective before this weekend's game. I find it amazing. Ivan Toney's investigation and everything else took absolutely fucking ages before his punishment was dished out. Tonali done and dusted seemingly in about a bloody week, a fortnight, something like that. Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I'm all for the fact, yes, we must get behind the lad. Yes, we must, keep that mantra of Newcastle United. We look after one another. We've got each other's backs and everything. We support the player, of course we do. But it is a little bit suspicious that, Milan suddenly decided to cash in on their skipper. Somebody who was born and bred in Milan, after a fantastic season last season, and all of a sudden they're willing to accept a bid from Newcastle United for him. He goes, and then literally a couple of months after, all of this comes out in the wash about gambling and stuff like that. So it's suspicious, it's frustrating. No doubt the club will be looking and exploring every option on this one. If there's any sort of proof of any sort of, shenanigans, shall we say, the club will be all over it like a fly round shit. They really will. I've no doubt about that. But in the meantime, it looks as if Newcastle United will be the ones who have to suffer the consequences of something that happened whilst he was a Milan player. Is that fair? Is that not fair? Are the bans too long? Should it be a case of trying to help the players as opposed to just going around issuing bans, suspensions, FIFA bans, because there's no way around this. I've seen people say, well, we could send them to Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, get a player back. It doesn't work like that. It's going to be a FIFA ban that's worldwide, so we will just have to take it on the chin, as it were. But yeah, this game, perhaps the Dortmund game, might be the last time we see Sandro Tonali for quite a while, unfortunately. But I just hope he gets the help. Hope he gets the help he needs. The family gets the help they need. He gets himself sorted. He's a young lad with a great career, ahead of him at Newcastle United. He will come back, and we will see the best of Sandro Tonali. I have no doubt about it. Eddie Howe spoke in his press conference earlier today, saying that he will be included. He is in his thoughts for this weekend's game. We are still carrying injuries, so every fit available body is there and to be used. So I actually think he'll start this weekend. I really do, with the players that we've got out, the players who we've got available, so on and so forth. I think he will be included this weekend. And yeah, it's just a shame that the Premier League might be saying to Sandro Tonali now until next season, you know. Unfortunate, but yes, I touched upon it just now. We are missing still other players. Joelinton, thankfully, looks like he's shaking off his problems that he's had. He's obviously missed games recently. He is back fit and available. I've already got my Brazil flag ready for setting off to go up to the match and stuff tomorrow. So Joelinton is back in the fold. That's absolutely fantastic news. Not so great with some of the others. Joe Willock is back in training. That's positive. You know, he's been injured since May. He's not going to make this game. I said this before in the last video we did, you know, before the international break. To me, he's had no pre-season, no games, no nothing. The way he plays, the intensity, the speed, so on and so forth, it is going to take him at least another couple of more weeks before he's even got a place on the bench, as far as I can see. So getting closer, but quite not ready for this game. And that's probably the same sort of situation with Sven Botman. Now he's back, he's doing stuff, he's close. He's still officially got a chance of being in this game, but if we know Eddie Howe the way we know Eddie Howe, he isn't going to take any risks with Sven Botman. Jamal Lascelles will deputise again this time out, and we won't see Sven Botman this weekend. We may not see Sven Botman in Champions League action, and it still could be another week or two, I think, before we see him back in the fold alongside Fabian Schär in that, you know, excellent defensive partnership. So a little bit of mixed news there. Close, but just not close enough, I think it'll be the case. Isak, can't see him playing. He hasn't trained all week. Eddie Howe spoke again in his presser saying, look, I'm going to give him as much time as possible to prove his fitness, to shake off the I think it's a knee injury that he's got, you know, so that he's available for tomorrow's game. It ain't going to happen. If he hasn't trained, Eddie Howe isn't going to take a risk with him. It's as simple as that. There's an outside possibility he may be back for the Borussia Dortmund game. And like I say, with numbers a little bit dodgy here and there, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen as much as we want it. You know, the second most goals in the league behind Haaland. It's just not, you know, not going to happen. Young Lewis Miley, easy for me to say, he's not going to make the game as well. He's got a little bit of illness situation. He'll be missing for a week or two. So again, a little bit of a blow, because he can come in and I've no doubt about it, can make a difference. He is quality. He's a player in the making, and we want him to get minutes this season, and perhaps this weekend's game could have been a perfect opportunity to play him. He's not available, so that won't happen. So you can see it is a bit of a mixed bag. So we have to be really, really careful with managing the team, managing the minutes, managing the workload, and hopefully we get this game done nice and easy. And it's, well, it'd be lovely if it was a walk in the park. It's not going to be against Roy Hodgson's side. He's made them a lot more defensively solid this season. They've got victories over the likes of Manchester United. Quite a few have, actually, to be honest. But last time out, they drew 0 apiece with Nottingham Forest. Like I say, they don't really concede too many goals. So important that Newcastle United to get the first goal, get the noses in front, get a couple, and then just try and manage the squad, manage the minutes, and protect the players that need to be protected. You know, if Joelinton starts the game tomorrow, I can't imagine him seeing the game out. It's going to be a cautious approach by Eddie Howe, surely, over the rest of the squad that he has got, because again, we don't know what the situation is, whether he has this squad to manage all the way through till the summer. And we've just got to sort of take it on the chin that we're missing Harvey Barnes. We're missing, we're going to be missing Tonali. Again, 2 long-term injuries. We may have to take it on the chin, or we may be able to wheel and deal a little bit in January to bring in some reinforcements. I know Calvin Phillips it's the name that just won't go away, isn't it? It continuously keeps getting linked to Newcastle United, but it's going to come down to money, isn't it? At the end of the day, we've only got so much. It has been helped, hasn't it, recently? Saudi have announced a renewal of the sponsorship deal that they had with the club. That's great. More commercial deals being announced all the time. Comes to something when our official airline, as it is now, Newcastle United's official airline, Saudia, pay more than what we used to get for front of shirt sponsorship under Ashley. It's fucking madness. It's great. But it's what should have been happening for ages. You know, we were absolutely well below market values before. We used to give out freebies to Frasers, Sports Direct, all these old tat companies, and now what we're doing is we're getting in reasonable money for what we are provided. And the envy, the comments on social media, it's absolutely fantastic. The saltiness from other fans of other clubs that we are doing these deals is off the charts. They had no problem when Mike Ashley was doing it with Sports Direct, the owner with his own company at St James's Park. But now it's the Saudis doing the same exact thing and just paying fair market value. There's a huge issue, isn't there, all about it and stuff like that. But I expect more deals to be getting lined up over the next couple of months. More money coming in. You know, you've seen the Adidas, haven't you, deal. The Seller one, obviously, the Noon deal. These are absolutely fantastic bits of business, and hopefully it might mean that we've got a little bit of a war chest, a little bit of a extra fund to be able to, if nothing else, just cover the Sandro Tonali absence, which is going to be really, it's going to be difficult. There's no way to sugarcoat it. You know, you spend £55 million on somebody, he's not available. You spend another 40 odd million on Harvey Barnes, he's not available. £100 million worth of talent that you've just signed, not available. That is going to be felt somewhere. You know, it's not going to be as much rotation, it's not going to be as much being able to protect players and so on and so forth. So hopefully Eddie has got a little bit of wiggle room with all the situation that's been going off recently. As for the team, I think that he'll go with at the weekend. Nick Pope in goal, obviously. I know Dubravka's been making noises about minutes. He could be one, I think, to be off in January, especially with Karius about. I think it makes sense. He needs to be playing. He's good enough to be a number one. There's no doubt about it. Dubravka, isn't there? But that's a side issue for another day. So yeah, Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier in the defence. I cannot imagine that you'll risk Sven Botman. So it'll be Lascelles and Shea, which if you'd have told me a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, I'd have been a little bit apprehensive. I certainly was when I saw the team sheet against Manchester City. Hold my hands up. I think many people felt the same. But, you know, confidence that they can get the job done. Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Shea at the back. Hopefully keep out Palace and give us the best possible chance to win the game. Then at left back, Dan Burn. Now, yeah, he's critiqued all of the time. He does moments of absolute magic, but if you look at the stats, and I've been looking through some of the stats over this international break, he's actually, by statistically, one of the best left backs in the league. You know, he's getting forward, he's scoring goals, he's helping, you know, keep them out at the other end. So you can't really grumble. I'm sure that Matt Target is probably grumbling quite a lot, but when somebody's playing so well in front of you, you've just got to sort of take that a little bit on the chin. Now in midfield, what could he go with? There's talk about Elliot Anderson. What we do know is that Bruno will play, Sean Longstaff will play, and then it's who else goes in there? Is it Tonali? Is it Joelinton? Does Joelinton play out to the left perhaps? I think Tonali will play because they know that it's coming. They know that it's coming. He's already spoke about the fact that the legal team are all over it at the moment. The powers that be at St James's Park are all over the situation. So I think Tonali will play. It'll be Tonali, Bruno and Sean Longstaff in those middle three. And then it's who do you play either side. Again, you've got Anthony Gordon. He couldn't play last time out. He comes back into the fold. This time out, he served his suspension. He has to play on one side. And it's the conditioning for me of Miggy, who's been playing, travelling the globe. I know they're in first class and all this sort of thing, but fuck me, travelling all over the world, it does have to take it out of you. I've got a feeling that unfortunately Miggy's probably going to be on the bench. As much as I think he's rated, there is limits on what the bloke can truly do. So if you've got Anthony Gordon playing on one side, Joelinton playing on the other side, you could perhaps do that. Play Gordon on the right, Joelinton on the left, and then up top you've not got Isaac, but we saw Callum Wilson posting pictures over the international break, looking ripped, looking ready, looking like he was somewhere very, very warm. He certainly wasn't in fucking England. Sure, fair now. But Callum Wilson will be up top, and yeah, I think that's the team that is most likely to go with. There is variations. You could put Elliot Anderson in, you could put Joelinton centrally, you could play obviously Gordon out on the left, Miggy out on the right, but I just don't see how he can do it, and I think it's an unnecessary risk with the travelling and the minutes that he's played recently to put Miggy straight in there. So for me, Anthony Gordon one side, Joelinton the other, Callum Wilson up top. That's what I'm going for. Let me know what you think the team will be down below. What's the score going to be? I know Jack in his preview on the Facebook page, on the Twitter page, has gone for a confident, comprehensive 3-0 victory. I can see that sort of thing, but I'm going for 2-0. I think Newcastle United 2, Crystal Palace 0. It will not be as easy as what maybe perhaps some think, but I think if we get the first goal, I think we go on and it's a comfortable day's work. But we cannot afford to give these an ant's knob when it comes to opportunities or anything else like that. Hopefully St James's Park isn't under fucking water. Hopefully I do not need a canoe to get up the fucking motorway, and hopefully the clowns who are doing the maintenance works on the A1 near the Angel don't close the bloody road after the match as well. Absolute weapons. 4.5 hours to do a 2-hour journey. Thank you very much, you absolute muppets. Oh my word, there's still years to go on that, isn't there, as well? Chuffing hell. But yeah, let me know, score down below, what the team you think is going to be. How do you feel about the Tonali situation? Yes, it's gutting for the club, but you know, from a human perspective, and Eddie spoke about this today, you know, got to put our arm around him. The fans, no doubt, at St James's Park tomorrow, another sellout crowd, will back him 1,000%, and you know, show him the love, and you know, he will know that we will be there. We'll be waiting for him to come back whenever the suspension is over and done with. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about Tonali. I've seen a few different opinions on it. You know, yes, they are so highly well paid. They have all the fancy stuff in life, but addiction's addiction, you know. It doesn't check your bank balance out, does it, or out like that. So it's just important we're getting the support and help. It gets sorted for the long term. He's a young lad. He can be here for many, many, many years. It's just a speed bump, innit? It's a bump in the road. It's frustrating as it is, as a bad time as it is for Newcastle United. It is what it is, and we've just got to wait for this official announcement, which will be coming very, very shortly. Like I said before, it's just amazing that the Tonali situation, that the situation you know, previously with Ivan Toney didn't take this, you know, quick amount of time, and it allowed Brentford to be able to plan for what they knew was coming further down the line. We haven't got that that luxury. But, you know, a couple of time, it'll be January, and it'll be up to the club to be able to see what they can do to be able to sort of mitigate for the short-term you know, like effects of this, basically. But it'll open up opportunities. Miley will get more minutes. Elliot Anderson will get more minutes, no doubt about that, and that's got to be a good thing. You know, these lads, they need the minutes. Anderson is developing amazingly well, and I think Lewis Miley is a tremendous product of the academy. I think he's an amazingly talented player with huge potential. So excited to see the younger players coming through. Opportunity will, you know, present itself. It's up to them to be able to take it, isn't it, at the end of the day? So yeah, let me know about everything I've just said down below in the comments. We'll be back with a review on the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We have finally passed the 2,000 mark. 134,000 across Magpie 24/7 in total. Really appreciate the fact that you're hitting that subscribe button, you're hitting the like button, and you're supporting us on the on YouTube as well, because again, there's loads of absolute quality cracking content out there. So appreciate the fact you've took the time to hit the subscribe button for all of us here at Magpie 24/7. I want to get back in home now. Hopefully try and dodge this raid, get warm, get sorted, get the shirt sorted, already laid out, ready for coming back up tomorrow to see the game at St James's Park. Cannot wait. A big week of action, and it starts with Crystal Palace and Roy Hodgson at St James's Park. So yeah, I love you and leave you there, and in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.